a deep breath, kind of settle in for a second. And then what we're going to do is alternate putting one arm on the ground and reaching up and over. You can go as fast or as slow as you want, or with your breath, just stretching the side of the body. I personally think this one feels really good. We're going to do a little bit of foam rolling today, probably get into the glutes. So if you have one, great. If you don't have one, that's okay. You can use, you can either just hold a stretch, or you can use something else like a rolling pin or something you have around the house. Good. Take the hands, both of them in front of you, just like this. And then just very gently slide the arms forward and feel a nice stretch. So bring the chest up and forward, hinging from the hips so that you're not rounding your back. Your back is staying pretty flat. And as you take each exhale, so a nice deep breath in, but every time you exhale, kind of sit your bottom a little further back. Inhale, and then exhale and sit your bottom further back. You can almost kind of push with your fingertips here and push your bottom back, kind of lengthening a little bit, and then slide those hands back. Take your legs and go ahead and recross the other way, and then we'll start again where we started last time. So we've recrossed our legs, and we'll reach up and over gently. Then we've resituated ourselves. You can go at your own pace, or you can follow me, but just do what feels good for your body. One more time. Good, good, good. Take your hands on the floor in front of you again and just slide them forward. We're going to hinge from the hips. Good. And again, every time you exhale, so taking a deep breath, kind of sitting your bottom back a little bit. With each exhale, just kind of letting your hips sink back toward the floor. And then if you want, you can put a little resistance. You can kind of push into your hands a little bit so that you push into your hands and push your bottom back, hips back. And of course, you don't want to do anything that causes pain or discomfort, because that's no fun, and it's counterproductive. But if that's something that feels good for you in your hips and your back, then you can definitely go ahead and do that. What we're going to do now is straighten both legs out. And I know this is a little bit of a harder stretch, because for a lot of us, like when we do a forward fold from standing, we have gravity to help us kind of hang down there toward our toes. But when we're seated, there's no help. So one thing to be really careful of is that you let your knees just stay nice and relaxed and not bend, and just come forward gently. If you have a strap or a towel or something nearby that you like to use, you can actually wrap that around the ball of both feet, and then just really gently come forward, taking some nice deep breaths, letting yourself just come as far as your body wants without pushing it. We're going to come back to this stretch, but we just don't want to push it. This is another one where a lot of people like to bounce a little bit. And I really don't, because I think that it doesn't really get a good stretch when you bounce with this one. The goal is to just hold it, let the muscles relax slowly, lengthen slowly. Our body's protective mechanism is our stretch reflex, which means when we overstretch, the muscle tightens up so that we don't tear it or damage it. So letting that relax just slowly is key to actually lengthening the muscle and improving flexibility. Good, okay. Let's come back here where we're gonna bring our feet in front, straight out from our hips, and take our hands behind our back. And we're just gonna come up into a nice little table position here, bringing the hips up and down just super gently, kind of waking up the front of the body just a little bit. 2 more. Up and hold. 1 more. Up and hold. And then have a seat. Bring your feet out nice and wide. And just very gently, one at a time, bring your knees in toward the midline, right and left, very gently. Get those hips moving just a little bit. 1 more on each leg. Good. Bring those feet back to where they are straight out in front of your hips. And we're going to come up into that table position and just hold here for a second. And I want you to think as you come into this about opening up the chest. Right here. Just deep breath. 1 more deep breath. Good. Come back down. Bring the soles of your feet together. Sit up as tall as you can and then hinge forward from your hips. If your hips or your glutes are really tight, this is where you're going to feel it. Good. So we're going to cross our legs 1 more time, putting our hands on the mat or on the ground or the mat right in front of us. Now, if you're really tight, you can actually set them on something, like if you have your foam roller. If you can't get them flat, you can set them on something here. But what we're going to do here is a little cat-cow where we're going to arch and then round the back. So you can do this with your breath. You're going to arch and then round. Just get the spine moving in this position here. Arch and then round. And when we round it back, we really push up and through the middle back. This should feel good. 1 more time. Arch and round. Good. And then let's switch the way we have our legs crossed. So uncross and recross. I'm going to do the same thing here. We're going to cat-cow, arch, and round. Gently, at your own pace. You can go with your breath if you want. One more time. Good. Okay, if you have a foam roller, we're going to pull it out now, and we're going to roll our glutes just a little bit, and then we're going to try and really get in and stretch, stretch, stretch. So, I'll be honest, my left side is more painful than my right. So I'm going to start on the side that is not as tight, because I just feel like it. So I'm going to start on my right side. So here's what I like to do when I'm rolling my glutes. Cross. So I'm going to roll my right side. I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left knee. My right hand is going to be behind me as support. And I'm going to start at the very top here, just at the very top of my backside. And I'm just going to very gently kind of rock. You can either hold this hand on your ankle or you can bring it behind you for more support. Up to you. And gently rock. You may find a certain spot that's kind of tight or even very painful. And what we want to avoid is rolling over and over and over and over again on that spot, because all we're doing is bringing some blood flow, kind of drawing the body's attention to any areas that might need to be broken up. But we are not physical therapists, we're not licensed, so we're not going to dig in where it hurts. We're just going to bring the body's attention and awareness to it. We're going to work on increasing some blood flow. And so you're going to roll gently, like maybe 1 inch at a time, all the way down to the base of your bottom. If you feel like you need to twist a little bit more to the right side or to the left side, you can definitely do that. Up to you. Good. All right. So if you finish that side, let's make our way over to the other side here. And we're going to cross the ankle over the knee. Good. All right. And gently roll. Starting at the top again and coming all the way down to the base of your backside. If you have one of those foam rollers with the teeth on it, I am sorry because that hurts, especially when you're getting into some glute work, because it can be actually very tender. If that's a problem area for you. And I know for a lot of athletes, runners, walkers, cyclists, and a lot of sitters, so if you are sitting a lot at work, this is a problem area. It hurts. So be gentle, and remember, you can hold on to your lower leg here, or you can put both arms back behind you for support. Just depends on what's more comfortable for you. And again, if you need to find a spot and kind of twist over just a little bit, to the left or to the right where you feel like you need the most work, do it. Go for it. Good. Okay. Hopefully you finished that side. So let's do this. I'm going to set my foam roller aside for now. And we're going to do a couple of stretches and then circle back to that straight leg stretch. So for this one here, we're going to do a hamstring stretch. I'm going to use my strap. You certainly don't have to. You can just walk your hand out as far as you want to go. But I'm going to take my strap, put it around the ball of my foot, and just hold on to that, hinging from your hips, coming as far forward as you can comfortably without pain. Good. And what we're going to do here is just set the strap aside for a second, and we're going to take this leg up and sit it to the side. I'm going to take this leg back. We're going to do our pigeon pose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do my right leg forward. I'm going to take the left one back, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of just roll my body over so that my hips and pelvis are straight down toward the floor. Avoid rolling to the side. So nice and balanced here, and I'm going to lower myself down onto my forearms. If it's more comfortable for you to extend your arms and you feel like that's a better stretch, and your body is capable of that, that's wonderful. If not, hold where you feel that stretch, but not where you feel pain. Good. So now I'm going to go ahead and come back up here. I'm going to take my left leg forward again, straight in front. My right leg that was bent here, I'm going to cross over, and then I'm going to twist to the right. Well done. Okay, so let's switch sides and take the right leg out in front. Left one we're going to bring in here just like this, knee bent. And again, I'm going to take my strap, certainly don't have to, for this hamstring stretch, and I'm going to put it around the ball of my foot. But whatever you have is fine. If you have nothing, that's fine too. And walk my hands out, hinging from my hip, keeping my spine nice and long here. Pushing through my heel and letting my knee stay nice and relaxed, so no bend in the knee here. Good. All right. Let's come out of that one. I'm going to set my strap to the side. So now my left knee is bent. I'm going to turn that to the side here. I'm going to take my right leg back so that we can do our pigeon toes on this side. So left leg forward, right leg back. And I'm going to make sure my hips are nice and balanced, right over the ground. And I'm just going to come down onto my elbows. Of course, if you want to come all the way out and extend, you can. Just do what feels comfortable for you without overdoing it. Challenge yourself. And remember, try not to roll to the side. Keep those hips nice and square over the ground. Good. Come back up here so you can push up onto your hands. And then we're going to sit back down, bring that right leg forward. We're going to cross the left foot over the right leg, and we're going to twist to the left. Good posture. Lift the chest nice and tall. Proud posture here. Great. Come out of this one. So like I said, we're going to circle back to that straight leg stretch. You can do it with or without your band or your strap, whatever you have or don't have is fine. You can make it work either way. I'm going to take this around both feet, pull myself up tall, and then walk my hands out just as far as I can, hinging from my hips, keeping my chest up and my spine nice and long. And just hold here and breathe. Great. So hopefully that second time through, you felt yourself get a little further. Let's go ahead and cross. So I'm going to take my left knee and bend it, and I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left knee, supporting myself on my hands. And all I'm going to do is inch my bottom closer to my heel, walk my hands up, and just get as close as you can. It's great if you can get all the way to where your heel is touching your backside. That's awesome. If you can't, that's fine too. But the goal is to get as close as you can and lift as tall as you can. So I'm going to push down through my palms on the ground, lift my chest, and without actually doing it, I'm going to just imagine that my knee is going away from my body. So that would be my right knee is pushing away from my body, and just feeling that stretch and that opening in the right hip as I'm doing this one. Good, and then slowly slide your bottom away. You can uncross. We'll recross with the left one over the right. And again, we're just going to get as close to our heel as we can with our bottom. And then through your palms on the ground behind you, you're going to push yourself up nice and tall. And imagine that this left knee is just pushing away from your body. So we're not actually going to push it. We're just going to imagine that it's almost imagine that it's melting away. The muscles slowly relaxing, getting further and further. Good, and then we will end on our mat today doing a nice quad stretch. So you can either lay on your stomach or you can lay on your side. It's totally up to you with what you feel more comfortable doing. So we're going to lay down, grab your foot, your ankle, your heel, or you can use your strap and pull it in towards your bottom. You can rest your hand on your forearm, or you can keep yourself propped up. Totally up to you. Do what feels the most comfortable for your body. And before we switch sides, feel this gap between your hip and the ground. Go ahead and try to push it down gently. Gently, gently. Good. And then release that leg. Switch your arms up top. Reach back for the other foot. Pull it in towards your bottom. And then very gently, that hole, or that gap between your hip and the floor, tighten the glute and just gently press the hip down toward the mat, down into the floor. Good. And then before we wrap up, let's go ahead and push up onto hands and knees. And we're going to just come into child's pose and relax for a second. And remember, if this one feels uncomfortable to do in this position, you can always turn onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. That's another good option. So you can bring your toes together, knees apart, and you can either take your hands forward or you can stack them and rest your head here. And we're just going to stretch and push our hips back toward our heels and let our belly sink between our knees here and relax. Take some nice deep breaths. And remember, if child's pose does not feel restful or relaxing or it's painful for you, don't do it. It's supposed to be a rest pose. So if it feels better to roll onto your back and hug your knees in, then go for it. Good, and we can slide those hands back. Let's go push up, and that will do it for